Welcome again to our Wednesday Pastoral Encouragement. One of the things that I've been thinking about this week and the last few weeks is just how I've been finding myself wanting to escape in different ways. And even as I've talked to other people, they've been kind of sharing just this desire to want to just kind of escape away as they've become more exhausted from virtual communication, from just being in the same place so often, that it's almost like they're concaving into themselves and how they just want kind of what they want. And they just kind of have this inward focus on themselves instead of maybe figuring out how do I care for others around me. And so we see in Matthew 11 that it says, as he passed on from there, he saw a man called Matthew sitting at the tax booth. And he said to him, "Follow me." And he rose and followed him. Now there are a couple interesting things here. Is that one, as Jesus passed by, it said he saw him, that he saw Matthew, that he looked, that he took notice, and more than just his physical body, but it seems like he was noticing who he is, what's going on. There's this intentional movement of looking at more than just this idea of Matthew's body, but what's going on with this tax collector. What's going on with this tax collector that everybody in the community hates? He's been stealing and robbing from them, but Jesus sees him, and then he does something else. He moves towards Matthew. He actually goes towards him and engages with him. And the idea of moving towards, and as I think about even in my own life or as I talk to others, that's where that tension happens, where I want to escape in relationships, or I want to escape from even the things that are going through my mind. I don't want to move towards other people. But here we see Jesus seeing him and then moving towards him. So I wonder in our own lives, what might it look like for us to move towards people, even just in our own emotional and relational ways, to say, what's going on? How are you doing? And even sharing and being vulnerable about our own selves and what's happening in our lives. But then after we see Jesus see him, he moved towards him, he engages him. He's speaking to this tax collector. He's speaking to this one that people do not like in the city. They don't like Matthew, and Jesus is now speaking to him, listening to him, and he actually says, "Come follow me." And so I see that, and I think, man, how am I engaging with those around me? When, especially during this time, I feel like I want to kind of escape. And maybe you're feeling that way. And maybe you're kind of feeling like you want to be kind of concaved into yourself, want to go into watching Netflix, scrolling through Facebook or whatever it might be, Instagram, and you just kind of get into yourself. We see this pattern here where Jesus is saying he's seeing people, he's moving towards them, and he's engaging them. And I think that has been challenging in my own life, to do that to my family and to people around. And that's what I want to really encourage you and challenge you also, is that where you see yourself trying to escape and maybe pull away, is to look at those around you, look at them intently and see who they are, move towards them, ask them how they're doing, what's really going on, what's the story below the surface, and engage with them in that.